Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Steve from the gym, and today's lesson two of the fitness sales series. What I'm going to be talking about today is ultimately how to sell a gym membership. In the first episode, we talked about how to cover a TI, which was a telephone inquiry. Now, hypothetically, this telephone inquiry has come to the gym and has come walking up to the front desk to ask for the person they spoke to on the phone, inquiring about memberships. Okay, so just a brief overview. From 2006 to 2020, I worked for several different gym franchises and I received training from some of the best in the industry, such as Ron Littlebrandt and Neil Spruce. So now we have our walk-in or our telephone inquiry. All right. So as discussed in the last video, after taking a telephone inquiry and setting an appointment, the next step would be when the customer walks into the facility for the actual tour. You don't have to do anything else unless they don't come in for their appointment. Then you got to do a follow-up call and see what happened, reschedule them for an appointment. From this point forward, each person walking into the gym, appointment or not, should still be taken through the proper guest greeting and guest courtesy card. You should be able to tell from their demeanor that they are a guest before they've even walked through the door, especially if they're in regular clothes. So one thing that you'll notice is that when people walk in, you can tell. It doesn't take very long to become good at this, but you can tell if somebody is coming in to ask about gym memberships. If you can see this from through the front doors and as they approach the front doors from X amount of feet away, you can go ahead and let any of the fitness consultants know, hey, I think someone's appointment's here. Be ready. Okay. You want this to be as fast and as smooth as possible. And slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So it needs to be very calculated from start to finish. And these are methods that have worked and been proven to work more than any of the other methods, time and time again. So just follow the rules and you'll get there. Potential members walk up to the front desk looking lost or semi-scared at times. Be very cautious. This interaction could be the difference on how well they receive the commands that are about to come from the front desk associate. Okay, so what's going to happen is this guy's going to walk up to the front desk, right? He's in regular clothes. He clearly just stopped by after work and he's either called to the gym or he's just going to be a walk-in, both of which could still be uncomfortable. Whether they talked to Steve on the phone or whether they walked in the door, they could still be uncomfortable. A lot of Americans haven't worked out for, 10, 20 years, since high school, since college, since before they were married, a bunch of different, reasons why they haven't been able to work out. So they're already a little intimidated walking into some gyms. Some gyms might have guys that are really built in stringers walking in right next to them. That might intimidate them. And some gyms might have a lot of females that go there, and some females showing up for memberships might be intimidated about all the girls that are in there with like sports bras and yoga pants on. So you just want to be prepared for everybody to be scared and to be a little bit resistant. And I'll get to that in just one second. Remember, the front desk and customer service associates are the first impressions. If they can't handle simple things like answering the phone and explaining cancellation or late billing policies, then they don't need to be working the front desk. All right. There's a lot of other jobs that somebody can have. If they cannot handle explaining to somebody legalities in an agreement, then you can hire someone else. They can go work at like a McDonald's or a Panera Bread or something if they just want to ring people up for stuff all day long. But to be a part of the fitness franchise or a fitness franchise, you're going to have everybody on there, on the staff, pretty much geared towards production and gross goals. So the guest walks up to the front desk. Hey, how can I help you, sir? Hey, is Steve here? Asked the man, looking around intensely. In my day, numerous strange men with seeking eyes have walked into the gym asking for one of the male employees. This can scare you a little bit. Be prepared for this man to become violent. He could be enraged over a fitness consultant sleeping with his wife, but be optimistic that it's for a gym membership. I've seen it all. Never be surprised with a guy named Steve. Steve? Asked the desk guy, Caleb. Did you have an appointment with him, sir? Now, here's the thing. Caleb's already reaching for the phone to page over the gym's intercom for Steve, but he's still cautious because the guy walks in looking a little scared, a little angry, a little confused, and looking around pretty intensely. And a lot of times they can't focus just on you. So you need to be sitting there calm, smiling, and just very patient try to bring their energy down if you can tell that they're a little disheveled being in a new place that they're not used to. Did you have an appointment with him, sir? Yeah, he begins as Caleb reaches for the intercom phone. I just called up here. Beep, goes the intercom. Attention, gym staff. Steve, you are needed at the front. I say again, Steve, you are needed at the front. That's how we said stuff in the Army. Attention, gym staff. Steve, you're needed at the front. I say again instead of saying I repeat because it just sounds like someone doesn't know how to talk on the radio, really. But I've gotten ragged on all kinds of different ways that I've worded this stuff from friends that were in the gym. Like, I say again, I say again. Call me Foghorn Leghorn or whatever. Caleb grabs a blank guest courtesy card or the iPad that guests are supposed to sign in at. And from this point forward is where you'll start to feel the most resistance, typically. At this point, Randy just needs to be sat down with this guest courtesy card or an iPad. So a guest courtesy card, I'll explain a little bit of this, but this is a paperclip board with blank questions or an iPad with blank questions for them to fill out so the fitness consultant can navigate how to make, force, or pressure the guest to join the gym. The things that you'll see on this will be things like their name, their address, their phone, age, height, weight. Sometimes you'll even see body fat or BMI. Let's say they went to the doctor and the doctor recently did their BMI and that's why they're here. They might know their BMI, but they might not know their BMI. Don't worry. We're going to make them buy a personal trainer anyway after all this is done because we're going to show them their BMI eventually and they're going to be horrified. And then from there, we're going to pressure them into getting a trainer because they probably don't know what to do. In fact, most people do not know what to do before going to the gym. Depending on even what their goals are, they have no idea how to get there. They think that weight loss is cardio and they think that building muscle is just lifting weights. Not true. But anyway, but you have kids, you have, would you be working out in the morning or the afternoon? That way you know what the gym is like during that time. So let's say it's 5 p.m. and it's busy as hell. All the college kids are there. All the Army guys have shown up after work. I worked in Columbia, South Carolina for a lot of my career. So Fort Jackson and USC college campus were two big um, membership pools for our 5 clubs in town that we had. But if they're going to be coming at 5 a.m., then you can discuss, oh, it's not nearly as bad at 5. This is classes, everyone's out of work, it's Monday night. Ignore this. 5 a.m. It's a lot more calm. There's still some people in here and there's a lot of space. We got 3-story facility, or you're going to be telling them it's kind of busy right now. And even though this gym's a hunk of crap at 5 a.m., it's less busy. Whatever it is to make it work out with them. But we'll get into the guest courtesy card just in a second. But we still got to sit this guy down. Now, you'd be surprised. It may seem silly, but people have a hard time asking guests to have a seat. The guest may look as if they're in a rush, doesn't want to sit down, pacing slightly. This is normal. They are typically out of their element and uncomfortable. Please take the time to make them feel comfortable. All right. Remember, the weirdest people come into the gym and join the gym. And there's nothing you can do. But you can't just discriminate against them whatsoever, or you'll have a Karen to deal with later. So ultimately, some guys want to stand up and fill out this whole thing. Usually, even as a front desk guy, I'll actually sit down with it so that they follow my lead. And then when the fitness consultant walks up, they might want to stand up again. Don't let them. The fitness consultant's going to need to sit right down, and we'll get to that once the fitness consultant comes running up to the front after Caleb, the front desk guy, sits this dude down. Fitness consultant's just been paged, right? Sir, my name is Caleb. What's your name? Asked Caleb, offering his hand and smiling. Randy, as he offers a weak fingertip version of the handshake. Holding up the guest card, come on around to one of the tables, Mr. Randy. This is our guest courtesy card. This is going to help Steve figure out just what you're going to need and help him learn more about you. It's also the guest waiver, just in case you slip and fall. Ha ha ha. Laugh like it's ridiculous because it is, but that will ultimately tell them you're filling this out or you're not coming in. All right. So it's one thing to have something that they might not want to fill out because they're just going to be, I just want weights and I just want to join, or I just need a treadmill. I'm just going to join. Nah, we want to get information from them. That way, if once they see the prices and once they see the gym, if they somehow are thinking about walking out on this, we want to get all the things that we need to turn against them later. But nevertheless, Caleb walks Randy around to one of the tables and sits him down. Have a seat and fill this out, Randy. Steve should be down here just a second. Tell them to sit. Believe it or not, some guys try to stand up the entire time. Turn over to the fitness consultant. So from the upstairs or the locker room will appear a fitness consultant that is most likely at least on at least one illegal substance. Steroids, Adderall, Xanax, marijuana, cocaine, or a combination of a few. But pray that they aren't hungover also. It was a Saturday morning in Columbia, South Carolina during football season. Pray that your guys even show up for work on time, because more than likely they were tailgating the day before, they got off work, they're working 60 hours a week, they drank until 2 in the morning, and they might have had a girlfriend that could wake them up to their alarm clock going off in their face for hours at a time so that they can make it back to work the next day to sell some gym memberships. But or they'll be on a combination of a few of these different substances. But wherever he or she is in their fitness journey will determine the condition of this fitness consultant. Let's hope that they're fairly new to this and they're still operating on just Bang energy drinks and protein powder. As Steve approaches, Randy looks lost, irritated, and keeps looking around at the members. Yoga pants and stringers may be within eye view, and it might be distracting him, could be intimidating him. Randy, asked the fitness consultant, please mimic the body language in the beginning. All right, so you're the fitness consultant. You've just come walking up to your appointment. That's sitting down. They're filling out the guest courtesy card. Yes, it's going to take them way longer than they want to spend filling out a form, but that's perfect because it gives you time to get ready. You could have been in the locker room using the bathroom. You could have been out back smoking a blunt. You could have been upstairs talking to some girl with fake boobs, but now you have to get ready to work. You only have to work a couple of hours in the fitness industry each day as sales. You have to pretty much make phone calls and try to get appointments, but mainly you're just waiting for somebody to be there to give a tour to and to sign up, which is why you have to be there so many hours, because you can't really work that hard in a short amount of time and guarantee that you're going to get the memberships that you need to sell in one day. Pretty much got to work these long 10-hour days to make sure that you're there for late night walk-ins, early walk-ins, combination of all those things. Yeah, he answers, stopping his writing, halfway standing up, creating a half bowing handshake position. It's always awkward because they try to get up when you just grab their hands, say, hey, I'm Steve. It's great to meet you. Smile, sit down with them to keep them from standing back up because you want to sit here and go over all the questions with them, which we're about to do with Mr. Randy. So let me see what we got so far. Grab the iPad from them, grab the notepad or the clipboard, whatever it is that they're documenting all this stuff, or however y'all are doing the guest courtesy card. Take it from them and fill the rest out for them. You can have them sign at the bottom, but don't sit there. Just navigate for them and help them get through the information fast. So the guest courtesy card. So as we said before, this is going to have a series of questions and some information that we can use to our advantage later. One example on how the guest courtesy card can help you is if a guest comes in and wants to work out, but they want to work out first and then sign up afterwards, and there's not much of a sale involved, or maybe they're taking a class with a friend and they're in a rush to get to the class, have them fill out the guest courtesy card. And then when they're upstairs working out, go onto your computer and look up all of their personal information. See where their house is, see how much it's worth, look up their employer, see how much they might be making. If somebody's a professor at University of South Carolina and they live in a $400,000 house, this would have been hypothetically in the 2010s when I was the bulk majority of my career, then they're going to be able to afford the gym membership even if they don't ever come back to it. Like they have a credit card balance that's going to, pay for a $4.99 like that, or they have enough money to sign up that day. One of the problems that you can run into is that somebody has money, they're just broke that day. We'll get to all of that, okay? But we got name, Randy Marsh. Great. Age, 43 years old. So now we can kind of do some calculations as to the last time they worked out based on the questions. When was the last time you were consistent? So if somebody's 43, they've been out of high school for over almost, let's see, 37's 20 years. So it's 25 years or so that they haven't been in the gym. The weight, 225, probably 30 pounds over what they should be, at least. Employer, Colorado Geological Survey. All right, so now that you know that the guy's a geologist, he probably makes decent money. Let's see what kind of marriage and kids and things like that he's having to also balance with his finances. This is all just to get ammunition for later. You're pretty much making them say that I need to join the gym right now. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm not happy, and I have people that are relying on me to be here later in life. Cool? That's what you're trying to do, ultimately. The bulk majority of buyers are men. So whether the whole family's going to get a membership or a husband and a wife, usually the credit card's coming out of the guy's hand anyway. So you got to find things that touch on that. So 905 South Park Lane, gender, male, body fat, or BMI. So this is on the guest courtesy card sometimes, just because some people have, like I said earlier, gone to the doctor and seen what their BMI is. It scared them, and now they're coming to the gym to start losing weight because their doctor's yelling at them every week. So if they put something on there like 30, 40, whatever, yikes. But that'll let you know that they've recently looked. And so that'll let you know that maybe the doctor was one of the reasons why they were here. More ammunition for if they try to back out of the gym membership. Circle all that apply. Lose weight. How many pounds? Build muscle. Classes, kids care, pool. How many days per week do you plan on coming to the gym? How long have you been thinking about joining the gym? A few years sometimes they'll write, or you write down whatever they tell you. AM or PM? PM, after work. Have you ever had professional instruction for a hobby? Now, what you're trying to do with this question, which this was on our guest courtesy cards, at least for most of the companies I worked for. I can't remember some of the later ones. I don't know why. I wasn't there as long. But you're asking if they've ever paid for professional coaching. So, like if they've ever had a guitar instructor or a soccer coach or a singing instructor. We have personal training at every facility. So we're going to be trying to upsell them a personal training package. So we're trying to get them to say yes so that we can make a correlation between stuff they've paid for in the past and paying for a service like this. When was the last time you were consistent? High school weightlifting, so 25 years. In 5 years, where will your condition be if nothing changes? You're actually making them admit that if they don't get started today, that they will be the same or worse. On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you with your current shape? This person put a 6. All right, that's not very happy. 5 is like average. 6 is probably trying to convince yourself that you're not actually depressed, because if they were actually happy, they'd put 8, 9, or 10 potentially. There's a huge liability clause following this area, and then there's a signature and a date portion at the bottom. Now, here's the beautiful thing. If this person never joins the gym today, let's say they completely get up and walk out when you're done doing your whole tour and everything, you have all of their information and the date that they came in. So even if you call them every day for 90 days to see if they want to come back and join the gym, you offer them specials, you waive every freaking enrollment fee possible, you can still keep this for an archived folder of people who never joined. And when you're real desperate and bored, have your fitness consultants go through year-old dead leads and say, hey, Randy, this is so-and-so from Gold's Gym. I was just cleaning out some old binders, and I saw that your guest courtesy card I saw from your guest courtesy card that you never actually joined the gym a year ago. Did you end up joining a place? Did you la 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 la? This stuff is good to have written down. Yes, the digital programs are great, but what happens is you end up having a lot of duplicates sometimes because somebody will call and then we'll make them a profile from being a TI. They'll improperly get logged in when they come and walk in under the guest courtesy card. So now there's 2 profiles for the person. And let's say they don't join, but come back later and join with someone else. Then they actually make them a profile in the computer without ever doing the iPad. But then in the system, you now have 3 profiles for the same person. This has happened to every company when they switched from having paper logs to digital iPads to log everything that we call every day, for example. I don't like that, actually. I'm sure statistically the digital computer programs are probably statistically better, but I don't really trust statistics and stuff like that. I trust my firsthand experience more than statistics. And there's a lot of different things I could relate that to in my life. So getting ammunition. So in negotiation, you want to have ammunition to argue your case if they want to back out of the sale later. The guest card gives you personal information as well as ammunition against them. Once you've made them hate themselves for a quick 5-minute form read, you now must show them the facility. Whether you have a $12 million multi-level gym with tons of amenities, or if you have a basic black iron gym, it's still important to have this process done each time. A small table, clipboard, and a 5-minute conversation to calm them down and to see if they meet the requirements and gain ammunition for the sale, even if your gym is low amenity. It has nothing to do with how nice your gym is. Okay, so just because you have a crappy gym doesn't mean that you have to bypass this first step. In fact, you probably have to do it more so because the gym doesn't sell the gym membership. I had gyms to where when you walked in, you couldn't even say no. It was so dang nice, you just could not say no. And with all the different ways we could hook you up with the gym membership, you probably really couldn't say, wait, we made it to where you just simply could not walk out of that place without a membership. Even if it cost you $0 that day to join, we'd figure out a way to get it done. And that's what I want you guys to understand is that nobody leaves as a miss. Nobody walks. And we'll get through that in a second, okay? You know how far they live and where, okay? So if they say it's a little too far for me, it's like, no, it's not. You live 5 minutes away. You know how much they make approximately. I just can't afford it. Randy, you're a geologist. I don't think that you can't afford it. I think that you just haven't thought about this being a monthly payment or a credit card purchase until walking in here. It wasn't real till you got here. You know they have kids to be healthy and to be able-bodied for. So it's like, Randy, look, you're 25 pounds overweight at least, all right? Your body fat percentage and BMI, we don't know what it is yet, but on your first session with a personal trainer, which is a complimentary session to see how much you remember from high school, we're going to see what your BMI is. We're going to see what your body fat percentage is. You don't want to be raising kids out of shape, overweight, while the kids play with some other dad playing baseball who has the energy for it, while you're at home watching TV, you know, eating food and just not involved with your kids. You want to be involved with your kids. They have a wife to keep happy. You now know if there is any reason beyond the general desire that you can use against them later if they try to back out of the sale. They could be having stomach surgery and they need to lose weight before the doctor will do it. That's a different reason, you know, other than normal. They're overweight. Let's just say that they're just flat out overweight. It's like, Randy, you're 300 pounds. You can't stay like this. I don't care how much modern society wants you to worship fat people now. It's heart disease and all kinds of other issues if you don't take care of your body. It's just plain and simple. You want to die at 55? You want the flu to take you out? Or like COVID or something? No, 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 no. They haven't exercised in 30 years. That alone, even if they're a skinny little old lady, that alone is, and they're more likely to join the gym without giving you crap. But that alone is a reason to join. They may be losing weight for a surgery, like I said earlier, or insurance reductions for insurance and health insurance, life insurance. Some companies will give you a discount on your monthly premium if you're exercising every day. So that would be another reason why they're doing this and not even wanting to maybe come to the gym. They just want to get that discount on their insurance. All right, so now at this point, you've sat down, you've gone through the entire guest courtesy card, but you're not trying to sell them a gym membership yet. You're not telling them their ammunition to their face. You're saving this for if they back out later. The tour can be the easiest part of the whole process, and it can be the hardest part, depending on the crowd or the gym itself, if it's a piece of crap. If it's a 5 p.m. primetime college in season and all the classes are roaring, it can be a nightmare, even in a $12 million shiny new facility. Make the best judgment based off the guest on how to customize the tour. However, you must be rehearsed in the art of the tour, which it's a complete show and act. It's almost as if you're in Cirque du Soleil for the next 15 minutes and your performance is riding on how well you sell this gym membership later. It's got to match their energy. It can't be annoying, but it can't be so dull that they walk out because you just bored them to death. From the bottom to the top, 360 degrees, left, right, top, bottom. It's so important to give all the information and a thorough tour. You are a performer for the next 15 minutes or however long that it takes. The nicer gym is normally the easier tour, in my opinion. Weights, machines, cardio, locker rooms, pool, sauna, kids care, basketball, functional training room. Do not call it CrossFit. Introduction to a personal training manager while on tour. Later on, you're going to grab them to get an appointment set for their first training session, which is complimentary from the gym with this personal training manager. I will tell you right now that this personal training manager is going to try to sell them personal training 100%. Don't tell them that. Make it the illusion that they're going to be receiving individual help. The tour needs to end inside the office. Walk them straight inside. If your gym is a hunk of crap, then you can sign them up. I can't even read what that says. In my opinion, it's not the best environment. Having an office is more. Oh, okay, I got you. So, I forgot what I wrote. So, if your gym's a hunk of crap and all you have is a tiny little table outside in the open gym floor, and you can hear every freaking aerobics class and the overhead intercom and all the chatter, go ahead. In my opinion, that's not the best way to sell a gym membership. If you're in a loud, rambunctious gym, you need to go into an office while you guys talk business, talk money and stuff, okay? It's just out of respect. I hate seeing my last gym that I joined was UFC Fit, right? Became friends with all the guys there, and they have a couple of different offices that are always empty with computers and pictures and just this great offices. They're never being used. They're selling gym memberships at little tables crammed up against each other with computers on them. It's just like little bar stool kiosks. I hate that. It's so loud, I cannot hear the person talking, nor can they hear me and concentrate when every girl is walking in with her ass hanging out of their yoga pants. So make sure you can get into an office so that you can actually have them focus on you and not looking at everybody walking in the door. You don't want that. You want them to be able to pull their wallet out and feel comfortable. You know what I mean? So here's an example of one of the gyms that I used to work at. It's now refranchised into a different name of what it was when I showed you the list of gyms earlier. This was one of the biggest gyms in South Carolina. I used to pass by it off of I-26 every single day when I would drive, or every time I would drive up to Greenwood from Fort Jackson when I was active duty for one of the units that I was in 2008, 2009 time frame before I went into the gym industry again after being in the army. So this was one of the gyms that I used to drive by just like hoping that one day I'd get a chance to work out in there because it was huge. It was 2 stories. It had tons of different classrooms. There was a pool. There were other businesses also in this building. So behind on the first floor, if you look to the very far back, you'll see some office windows and some doors. Those were the offices that we used. So whenever a guest was done filling out a guest card at one of the small little tables behind the front desk, we would take them into the office after the tour for the actual close. But we wouldn't walk them through the entire gym necessarily. We would just walk them through the edges. We would have these little landmarks to stop and give information on different aspects, even in the locker room. Here's the steam room. It's going to range between about 120 to 130 degrees with 100% humidity. Here's the sauna. This is about 160 degrees to 170 degrees without any humidity. You go out to the pool. The pool is going to range from about 78 degrees to about 82 degrees. We have swimmers and aqua aerobics, so they like to argue over which one feels better, but the pool is warm. It's always going to be temperature controlled. Blah, 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 whatever. So now that you've taken them through the entire tour, you've peeked in every classroom, whether they were having a class or not. You put them on a machine or two to show them how easy it is to do pull-ups on the assisted pull-up or something that just seems hard that they can do with the machines that only you have. Now it's time to sit them down and ultimately whip out a price sheet. Now it's time for you to actually sell this gym membership, okay? So this is similar to how we used to do the gym memberships at one of my larger franchises when I worked for like Gold's Gym in Columbia, South Carolina. But what we have here is a bronze, a gold, a silver, and a platinum gym membership. All right. So you have $29.95 per month, $39, $39, and $49. So notice that the gold and the silver are the same price, but we have different amenities. The bronze would be a single club access with nothing special added on to it. You got a $149 enrollment fee, $24 processing fee, and your first month of $29.95. So these people are spending about $200 in the door. They're spending about $198.95, I think. So that's about 200 bucks off the bat just to get them signed up. The biggest objection you'll see with this is typically the enrollment fee. They're cool with everything else. It's just that enrollment fee. Multi-club access for the gold. So let's say we have 5 different clubs in town, which we did. We had Forest Drive, Irmo, Lexington, Killian Road, and Sandhills. I had 5 different clubs that the members walking in my gym could access in the greater Columbia metropolitan area. You had a couple of cities that were so close to each other that it was very common to see someone live in Lexington but work in Irmo. Luckily, there's a gym in both sides of town, and it was very common for people to use at least 2 of the different gyms. Very, very common. I used 2 or 3 different gyms throughout every week while working for these franchises in Columbia. So if they look at all of that, they see that it's going to be $200 to sign up the first day, but it's only $29.95 a month. They might have enough money though to be like, is there a paid in full special where I can get a discount? Yes, paid in full if they ask. Hopefully they haven't realized that this contract's going to be 24 months yet. But you might run into that as an objection, but there's a couple of different things that you can say besides the fact that just as a business, you have to have 2-year contracts or else you can't grow and you can't get bigger loans. You can't promise the bank how much money you're making to get bigger loans to make the improvements that you need to keep up with the gym. So that was one thing I told people was don't worry about the cancellation. If you need to cancel, come see me and I'll tell you how to do it, all right? They try to, make it to where you're going to be here for 2 years, but I can tell you how to get out of the gym. I would tell people that just so that they would just shut up about the term agreement, okay? But let's say this person's cool with the 2 years, but they just want to save some money. It's going to cost them $742.80 without the enrollment for the monthly over 2 years. But this right here, the monthly, if you add it up over 24 months, and this isn't even including the enrollment fee, is $742 over the next 2 years. But if they pay in full, it's $499. So that's a savings of $243. And if you add on the enrollment fee that you waived, it's actually a saving of like $500. So it's definitely worth getting the paid in full. If they don't have a credit card to run it on, or if they want to wait till payday to come in and do the paid in full or something like that, then you might have some different ways that you can get them set up. Have them pay the processing fee on a monthly, and then have them come in on payday and apply that $24 processing fee, or apply the enrollment fee and processing fee to the $499, and then take the difference, and then just make sure that they walk out with a barcode, okay? If they want to come back and do a paid in full, that's fine. But take the barcode today. All right, here you go. You can start working out tomorrow. I just don't want you to not start. That's the big thing. Never make it about the money. Make it about their goals not actually happening. And if they give you a tough time, and you and your managers will always train and role play with this sort of scenario, but it's just like quitting smoking. If you don't quit smoking now, you're not gonna quit for years. If you don't start today, you're not going to start for years. That's just how the statistic goes. If you think that you outperform statistics, you wouldn't be here in the first place. You'd already be working out. So obviously, you have your assumptive close. So Randy, which option do you think works best for you? Assuming that he wants to join. The objections you might hear at this point after showing him monthly and maybe paid in full options. Normally, I don't even pull that out unless they start talking about doing a paid in full. Objections are when the buyer has any reason they are not ready to join the gym upon assumptive closing. All right, so spousal, I like to run it by my wife. Price objection, I'm not sure if I can afford it. Commitment objection, I'd like to think about it. This is a 2-year agreement. Enrollment, I just don't want to spend the $200 joining the gym. Mr. Randy, now you unload your ammunition. Counter objections. You haven't worked out in 30 years. You have 30 pounds to lose. We got to get this going. You said your wife would support you. You want to have more energy for your kids. Shelly can come with you to the gym and Stan can go into the kids' care. Statistically, you have a 70% chance of accomplishing your goal if you start the day that you tour the gym. This isn't true, but you tell them this anyway. They have a 70% chance of joining since they came in that day. I'm not so sure about hitting their goal. In fact, about 95% of people don't ever hit their physical goals. Sir, you can afford $1 a day. You've been thinking about it for years, as they said on their guest courtesy card. So you've been thinking about this for a few years. Like, I don't know if you want to keep on thinking about it or let's do this. Randy, you put that you were a 6 out of 10 when it came to your happiness. We need to release some dopamine, my man. That's all we need. And you will be happier. You'll be several points happier in 30 days if you start working out. I know this. I've dealt with plenty of that. This is going to fix your problems, Randy. Or the enrollment used to be more. It used to be $199 to join the gym. So we've knocked that down $50, but like we can't just start giving away gym memberships. Like this is a $12 million gym. Or this is not a huge facility. Everybody here pays to be a part of this small family community here at this Black Iron gym. You can make any reason fit the mold. All right, so you do have a couple of different options, right? So if they don't want to join the gym and they're pretty adamant about not giving you their debit card, you could be like, look, you can chicken close them, which I don't recommend, but that's offer them 3 days to think about it by joining today and doing the 3-day cancel, which most gyms have. If they have a term and it's not month to month, if it's monthly membership billing, that doesn't mean it's month to month. That means that they're paying monthly for a 2-year membership. So because you have only 3 days to cancel the gym membership without having any outstanding obligation, you can say, look, here's a barcode. I'm going to join you up today. I just need to put your stuff on file if you like it. Come for the next 3 days. And if you don't like it, we'll 3-day cancel you. You'll have no payments taken out, nothing like that. But just give us a chance. I don't love that because then you're telling them that they can't cancel the gym membership unless it is within the 3 days, unless they move, get physically injured, or die. That's usually the cancellation clause. I'll cover that in another video. Now, if you still can't get them to join because of the fees that will be there inevitably when their billing does start, say, look, is it just the enrollment fee? Like, look, I don't have the power to waive nothing, but I can go get my general manager. But I'm telling you right now, if I go get him and he comes in here and he waives your enrollment fee, if you still don't do it, I mean, I'm gonna be in such. He's gonna just look at me like I'm a joke, like because what was the point of him even coming in here if that didn't actually make this happen? Like, is that all it takes? I'll go get him. And they go, yeah, yeah. If he'll waive the enrollment, I'll do it right now. It's like, all right. So you leave. Now they're becoming optimistic. Now they can get this $29 a month membership. It is cheap. It is $1 a day. All the counter objections you said are working. Now you just got to get the damn thing sold. All right, let's do it. So you go next door, you get your general manager. If you are the general manager, you go outside and pretend to call the general manager. You have to do the illusion of turning this over to somebody with more power to grant them this one wish. If they say they're broke, or only have $5, take the $5, schedule the rest of that first payment for 2 weeks from now, and get them started today. All right. Do not be too aggressive, but nobody walks. Start the membership today, no matter what. We're almost done here, guys. So you'll be selling gym memberships in no time. Filling out the contract. So you have two different ways you're going to have to do this. Either A, they're already going to have a profile made in the software system from the iPad they filled out when they first walked in, or you, as the salesperson in your office, need to have every type of gym membership pre-written. That way, when they make their decision, you grab one that's already filled out. All of the payments and everything are filled out. Now all you got to do is put their name and address, billing information, and have them sign, and you're done. Give them a barcode, they walk out the door, they're joined. You got their signature and you got their debit card number. Those are the only two things you need from them on that contract, besides the initial, with some of the initial blocks and their name at the top. Even their address is irrelevant because they might not actually live at that address or they might move. So that doesn't even really matter. But their name at the top, the prices and everything put into the billing module of that contract, and then their signature. Usually they will need a routing and accounting number, and it's best to have a routing and accounting number for each payment each month because it costs the company less money to bill a routing and accounting number than to bill a credit card. I think American Express is $6 just to run the card. So you're losing on your membership prices if you, yeah. So just put routing and accounting numbers down. Their first payment can be with anything, cash, credit card, debit card. And yeah, you can put a credit card or a debit card on file. Try to have their account and routing number on file first, and then put their credit card on file as a secondary source. And then, of course, the digital software. ABC Financial is a popular software in the fitness industry that has a fast and easy use. The iPad from the beginning of the tour will autofill the information, making it faster in the end process. And it will also email them copies of the contract. The thing I don't like about the digital contract, though, is that they can't see what you're doing. So you're clicking through, and you just have to get comfortable with the timing of all right, so the next signature block here, this is your billing information. You're signing that it's okay for us to bill the card that you gave us or the card that we swiped into the system. This is a signature saying that we're authorized to charge you on the 2nd of every month or whatever day that you guys choose for your membership. Cool? They sign it. Okay, now here's the liability waiver signature. Just make sure this is making sure that we're not responsible for any injuries you might sustain while at the gym. Okay, so we got a lot of members here, but we're not paying everybody's medical bills if they do something stupid and hurt themselves. Sign the gym, whatever. However you guys decide to word that, it doesn't really matter. As long as they sign all the blanks, you're good to go. But you're not out of the woods yet, okay? So you have your personal training session appointment. This can be overlooked. And if you don't go get that personal trainer manager to come over and meet them and set them up in their schedule for their personal training assessment, their first workout in the gym with a personal trainer complimentary. If you don't do this, you're going to have a bunch of training staff pissed off at you, especially the training managers. The trainers, not so much because they don't really know what people are wanting to do when they come in, and they're not really, they're floor pulling some people trying to get them to sign up, but they're typically getting assigned people to be clients from the training manager. This is kind of a round robin system, okay? So after taking the man's credit card, hopefully the training manager is on standby after you introduced him on the tour. Hey, this is Willie. He's one of our training managers. Hey, how's it going? I'm Willie. It's like, yeah, I'll come talk to you guys afterwards, and we'll get you set up on a session when you come in for your first trip or your first session, whatever. That way they know the face that's about to come into the office when you do go grab that fitness manager, okay? So hopefully they're on standby. This is a crucial part of the sale. It creates the illusion that they will be getting a one-on-one help as well as gives them someone to talk to for their first workout if they're uncomfortable in a new place. All right, so the trainer manager is going to come into the office. He's going to pull up his schedule on the computer. He's going to be like, so what day do you think works best for you? You think it's like Thursday, tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow in the morning? Like, what time are you going to work out? Because they don't know the person like you did as the salesperson. They don't know when they were planning on working out or any of that personal stuff. Unless, of course, the guest courtesy card's sitting right there in front of them and they can kind of look at it like, all right, so see, Mr. Randy, and they can do the same kind of analyzation that the other guy did, but ultimately you're just setting the appointment. All right. Now, sometimes, especially if somebody whipped out a credit card and started paying in full, sometimes the training manager will sit there and they will try to table close them a personal training package. They actually do have a higher statistic of joining if you can do this the day that they came in to join the gym. However, without wearing them out first and making them feel out of shape, sometimes this isn't the best time to do it. Sometimes this person needs to be proven and shown just how out of shape he is first, because he might not see the value if he thinks he knows what to do. And typically, they do not, especially if they're comparing their exercise repertoire to like high school football, which they'll never be able to recreate that training in their own mentality, even though they think that they can, but they'll never be able to recreate that much calorie burning on their own at 40 something years old. They're not going to be able to do deadlifts and sled pushes and all this stuff on their own and not look like they're not going to know how to warm up, stretch out. They're just going to look like an idiot trying to do all this stuff because they haven't been in the gym for 25 years. Most people do not know anything. So don't ever assume that they don't know anything, because sometimes guys have a history of being a personal trainer, but like their life's just somewhere else now and it's been 10 years. But typically, you can expect them to pretty much let you know with what they say that they don't really know what they're doing, especially when they want to lose weight and they're talking about walking on a treadmill. And we all know that that isn't how you fucking lose weight. So now referrals. Before you're out of the woods, you did your job great. You got them sat down, you calmed them down, you signed them up. They met Willie. They're coming tomorrow afternoon for a personal training assessment where they're going to freaking make them do burpees till they puke and pass out. And then they're going to say, you're really out of shape. We need to get you a personal trainer. This is sad, but in a nicer way. Now you need to get referrals. This is actually one of the best ways to get referrals is have them bring a friend with them or their wife to the fitness assessment. Then you can get an add-on, which isn't a full unit, even though arguably it could be considered a full unit, considering some of the units are discounted to the same price as a family add-on sometimes. But that would be one way to get either their work friend, drinking buddy, wife, or even one of their kids to come to the gym. I have a daughter. If I was joining the gym and wanted to get her involved with the gym, I'd love for us both to go through a fitness assessment just so that she can be told to do something from someone that isn't me. And then she's not being mad at me for making her work out. She's kind of more like mad at the trainer who gets paid to do this so they can put on a good smile and a good show for that member. Sometimes working out with your significant others is one of the ways that we actually get people to do the assessment and buy training. It's like, look, you don't want to work out here with your husband. Okay, like no offense, but like he's going to be looking around at everybody that's got muscles and every girl in a pair of yoga pants. You're not going to feel comfortable listening to him as he barks orders at you, and sometimes you just don't need to do that. Sometimes you need to work out with someone who take care of your own thing. Even me as a bodybuilding coach, I had all of my like exes and stuff in the past. I still always made them buy their own coach. That way I wasn't responsible for all the food and workout changes and stuff that would happen along the road of their show prep, right? I used to be a competitive bodybuilder. And all my exes are too. So once they're signed up, you can offer the new membership. You can offer the new members guest passes. All right, sorry. So these work phenomenally. Have them fill out 5 different referral cards and issue them 5 guest passes. And now what you have is you have 5 people that you can text saying, hey, your friend so and so joined the gym last night and gave you a free gym pass. If you're interested, just let me know. Something like that. I've worded it a couple of different ways and they do work, but they only work so well. You might get 5 referrals and you might get one person off of them. Even in a really busy town with a really nice gym, you still might only get one referral out of somebody. And if they just moved to town, they don't know anyone. So you can't sit there and make them like, hey, well, when you're at work tomorrow, all your new coworkers and stuff, you have anybody that I can ruin their night when they're trying to cook food in the afternoon and ask them if they want to come to the gym because some guy they barely know gave them a gym membership pass? No. Be practical with this. Do not expect, I know that owners and managers and guys I've worked for have been ruthless about how many referrals we got off of every single person. But when you're running a multi-million dollar, multiple franchise fitness facilities in a giant town, city, you know, you have to try to extract every bit of money out of everyone. And that's not even including the shake bar and the energy drinks and all the other things they're going to buy every time they come in there. But you can get a lot of money out of people by getting their friends and getting everybody to join personal training. You can make a lot of money in the gym industry. It's one of those sales jobs that can be a lot of fun, and it can also be frustrating all in the same week. If you're getting yelled at because you're having a bad week and you can't seem to close anybody walking in the door, you might consider leaving the gym industry. I mean, it can be very, very frustrating. You might be thinking to yourself, I can go sell cars and at least they actually want the fucking car at the end of the sale. But this, it's like you're trying to make them get something that they don't want sometimes. Every sales job is different, but what I can say is that after 10 to arguably 15 years of sales training, it doesn't matter where you start, just start in sales if you want to make more money than the average career in the first few years of working. A lot of times, you can start in the gym, you might not make a lot of money, but this can lead to maybe solar sales or pharmaceutical sales if you have a degree or any kind of sales. It can lead to that. But you got to have experience somewhere, and the gym's a great place for younger people that are fresh out of college or just younger people to get a job in sales where they can start learning the different ins and outs of how to take people's money for a living. And once you master this, you'll have enough skills to go on and do bigger things with your life, whether you start selling real estate one day or, it could be anything. Security contracts, which is what I'm in now. I do security now. So now my sales experience comes into selling our services and getting people to sign up or to buy our security services. So that's what I specialize in now. But I also do go around the country training sales teams how to sell anything that they sell, but gym memberships is one of my fortes that I currently give classes to people live to show them, especially new employees and employees that haven't had sales training in a while. That's usually what I'm hired for, is to come in and give classes on how to sell stuff and kind of recharge the air for a little bit. But that's all I got for right now in this lesson. The next lesson will be how to sell personal training. So look out for that when it comes out. Like, subscribe, give me suggestions at the bottom, but I'm going to let you go because it's almost an hour. I appreciate everybody for watching.